Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Octopath Traveler on the Switch, and we are going to wrap things up here with Chapter 4 of the final character, Cyrus, who we also started with, so it bookends nicely. And for some reason I swear I've been at Duskbarrow. Okay. So, I looked further into this whole final dungeon thing, and I've decided to pass on it. I mean, funny, I went through and did all the other character stories, but that really wasn't a big ordeal. But the final dungeon consists of, I guess, doing all 8 final bosses, which have been beefed up a little bit, and then there's a 2-part final boss. And the main reason I don't want to go through with all this is because for that final boss, you are forced to use all 8 characters.
May I have this dance?
No question about it.
My turn now.
You have,
The stars.
your first group of 4 comes in.
No,
And they do like the first phase, and then you swap over to your other set of 4, and they finish out the second phase. You do get to choose how you group your characters up, so you can divvy things up the way you want, but nonetheless, all 8 characters will be used. And it didn't seem like I could just have my main 4 be so superpowered that I could split them up and win. It seems to be a pretty beefy fight.
battle is truly joy.
So, yeah,
An interesting dilemma.
yeah. I don't have any interest in leveling up, gearing up, blah blah blah, the other 4 characters, or even playing as the other 4 characters in this playthrough. And primarily, the whole focus of the final dungeon is just to wrap up and sort of tie together some story elements. And I'm really not drawn to the story that much. So, yeah, I think we're gonna skip it. If you're curious, of course, like, literally, after you beat each of the 8 bosses in the final dungeon, you get this massive, like, text dump. It's literally just a big box of text that you can just read through. There's no, like, dialogue or anything that I saw. So, all the story stuff, you can just find videos. People have just compiled just the lore stuff from the final dungeon, if that's what you're interested in, but I don't really want to go through all that trouble. And so, Cyrus's search for the ancient tome led him to Stoneguard, where Headmaster Yevon lay in wait. Using the forbidden blood magic gleaned from those pages, he aspired to powers unholy and profane. But Yevon, more demon than man at the end, met his demise. Preposterous! I am all-powerful. I am eternal, immortal. They were all lies. Such were his last words, but who lied to him, and what was their ultimate aim? Was Cyrus fully prepared to face the truth that awaited him? A foreboding shadow fell over him as he came to Duskbarrow.
Time to do some research.
And here we are. Somewhere in this town lies the headmaster's ultimate destination. Given the nature of his research, it is reasonable to assume that there is a secret laboratory of some sort. It's always fun to say laboratory. And we'll get to the bottom of this, no matter what. That's the headmaster's assistant, Lucia, was it? Now that I recall, she disappeared after that incident at the headmaster's house. What's her role in all of this? I must not let her out of my sight. Yes, of course not. But first we will sleep at the inn. She might slip out of our sight, but I'm not sure. Man's gotta sleep. But she was just here. Wherever could she have gone? What's this? A button of sorts? Should I press it? Yes.
I see.
Nothing happened. I should have known it wouldn't be that simple. Okay. Don't press the button.
What have
Yeah, pull it.
Oh.
Must be losing my wits. How does one even go about pulling a button? Well, you pinch the sides and pull.
What have we?
Okay, don't press it. Don't pull it. Twist it.
Aha!
Well, this is a turn. I should proceed with caution. Nice, no whammies. These walls seem quite old. Yet they still stand strong. What are these curious patterns? Look how perfectly they're aligned. Whatever could they be for?
Aha!
Wait, that's it. Together, the markings illustrate something. Illustrate something. Here, they billow and swell. An ocean? A flood? It seems to be depicting something overflowing. Yet, the depiction is abstract and surreal. Wait, I've seen markings like these somewhere. Of course! The runes of High Hornburgian. The runes are being used to paint a picture. Might there not be a hidden message contained within? It is as if the runes are flowing forth from some kind of gate. Though I hate to admit it, I fear deciphering this will take more time than I have. I should move on. Travel banter.
This place.
Those paintings scare me. I don't think I've seen anything quite so spooky. My mother used to like art. She filled the house with paintings and pictures. Oh? What kind of pictures? There was one I remember vividly. It showed a girl standing in a sea of grass. I'd stare at it so long I thought I could see the grass moving in the wind. I'll never forget it. Most interesting. Yearning, passion, sorrow, hate, one's very essence. In every artwork, we can feel the soul of the person who painted it. So what kind of soul is in those paintings? Nothing too awful, I hope. But I confess that I'm looking forward to cracking the puzzle. Glad someone can get enjoyment out of them, because I certainly can. Hey, let's save. Oh, snag this. Healing Grape Bunch. No whammies. And here we have a library of sorts. Look at all these tomes. Did Headmaster Yevon procure them all? Oh!
It couldn't be.
Volume 7 of Trial of the 12? But only the first 5 volumes are extant. Forbidden Gold? Covenant of the Sage? These books were all said to have been lost ages ago. And what's this? A personal dictionary for the translation of ancient tongues. The headmaster collect all this by himself?
No.
No, that would be impossible for even the most esteemed of scholars. No, such a vast repository of knowledge must have been accumulated over decades, even centuries. From this trove to those odd wall paintings, this place is one enigma after the next. One thing is clear. If there is a mastermind behind all this, I can expect to find him here. Travel banter. Are these tomes really worth so much? I can assure you that if they become known, they will turn the world of scholarship on its head. It is not surprising to learn that knowledge can be lost with the passing of time. Wars, disasters, and fires have all served to make men forget things they once knew. Yet books thought to be gone forever have returned as if from the dead, which implies they were stolen, deliberately kept from the world. Indeed, a most deplorable crime. And the culprit is this man, Yevon. He who would make all knowledge his, and his alone. That is why he hid it away here. Unlike men, books cannot talk. What tales these forsaken tomes would tell. Forsaken. That is exactly the word. To monopolize knowledge in this way is a desecration of scholarship itself. Spoken like a man truly devoted to his trade. It is only proper that an honorable scholar such as you cast his eyes over these pages once more. I intend to do just that. Hey, travel banter. Professor? What is it, Tressa? I was just thinking about the books here. They all seem very special. How much are they worth, do you think? Ah, Tressa. We can always trust you to be interested in the worth of things. Those books record the history of all that has happened, every event from beginning to end. Gosh. In other words, they contain the knowledge of the world, knowledge won at the cost of uncounted lives. Whoa, I don't think even I could put a price on that. Quite. They are without question priceless, for they belong to all men. That belongs in a museum. Then maybe we should make lots of copies and sell them cheaply, so as many people as possible can read them. A splendid idea. The question then becomes, how does one produce books cheaply and in large quantities? I don't know. Maybe ask Gutenberg. Knight's Shield. You think that's an upgrade? What are the odds that's an upgrade for anybody? Let's look at this here. Well, it's got some more physical defense, but then no. And how about this? Well, Actually, that elemental defense is quite a bit. I actually already have 3. And they're already equipped all over the place. Let me see the optimize here. Okay, it likes it. There you go, I got an upgrade. Now we can beat the final boss. Goes pretty quick when you don't do any random battles.
Professor, you truly are every bit as brilliant as old Yvonne said.
I did not come here for false flattery.
Oh, but I was being quite sincere. A shame the purport eludes your grasp.
To think you were the one pulling the strings. The headmaster was merely your puppet all along.
Very astute. Yes, it was I who maneuvered to install him in that position in the first place. To my dismay, he had a willful streak that got in the way.
One might say the fault lies in the person who chose him for the task.
One might say that, yes. Now, let us proceed to the matter at hand. Your search for the original copy of From the Far Reaches of Hell has miraculously led you to me. In finding me, you have displayed some measure of knowledge and acumen. More than anything, you have shown a pure and unrelenting passion for seeking out the truth. I hold that particular quality in the highest regard. What say you, Cyrus? Will you join me in my research?
Ridiculous. If that is a jape, it is a poor one.
A jape? What a curious reaction from a scholar like yourself. The wall paintings in this place, did they not pique your interest? Did your heart not race when you saw the countless lost tomes in my study?
To say I was not intrigued would be a lie.
Of course you were. Yes, any true scholar would feel the same. I must unravel these mysteries. I must have the answers. Your mind, no, your very soul burns with an all-consuming desire to know. That is what separates you from the rest, Cyrus. We are true seekers of knowledge, you and I. Together, we can unlock all the secrets behind our world.
I'll pass.
How can you refuse? You covet the mysteries of the universe. You yearn to know the truth. Surely you can stand shoulder to shoulder with me.
That's it exactly.
What? What is it?
Surely you. I take issue with your solicitation. You don't care who you use in your schemes. What of Headmaster Yvonne?
Don't Don't be ridiculous. He was devoid of the passion you have. He was nothing but a pawn to the end, incapable of envisioning an ultimate goal.
On what grounds do you base that assumption? Can a man not grow his mind? If you found him wanting, why did you not teach him?
Teach him?
Take him on as your pupil. Impart your vast knowledge, that he might one day be your peer.
Preposterous. You speak the impossible. Mediocrity is as mediocrity does. Knowledgeable as he was, his own actions prevented him from ever approaching genius. A genius such as yourself must understand this.
There's where you and I differ. I haven't given up on mediocrity. As scholars, we learn from the past to better understand the present and pass our knowledge on to the future. What do you mean to do with the knowledge you amass? The secrets you unravel? Carry them to your grave, content they are inscrutable to all who do not possess your genius? You would call them simpletons, fools, feeble minds. I say it is you who lacks the ability to teach and inspire. A true scholar does not look down on others for what they do or do not know. Those who know impart knowledge to those who do not. If something is wrong, those who know the answer correct it. The process repeats, bringing us closer and closer to enlightenment. I teach my students with the expectation that one day they will surpass me. I long for the day when I will have the chance to learn from them.
Enough! I've given you plenty of opportunities to make a move. Any move. But clearly we are going nowhere fast. If you would rather die without discovering the truth, so be it. I have already synthesized a perfect blood crystal, precisely as detailed in the original tome. With it, I will cast off the shackles of humanity. A human can only learn so much in its short lifetime. I will gain the time, the power, to understand everything. You may be a fool, but to show no hard feelings, you can participate in an empirical analysis of my newfound power.
If believing in the future makes one a fool, then call me a proud fool. But know this, when I emerge victorious, I will unravel the secrets of that tome and arrive at my own answer. Let this be a lesson to you. The future of mankind is bright. I cannot fail.
Oh my god, I finally get to play the video game now? That's pretty cool. Jesus Christ. Whoa.
I am ready.
30 shield, huh? Okay, let's go ahead and transfer. We get to blow all of our cool items now. This is it. This is everything. Weak to swords, that's good. And let's do one of these. Not weak to any of those three. That's impressive. Let's give him the old... He might not be weak to... I mean, it might not be weak to any spells.
Victory shall be mine.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get to work then. Runes will not be of great use in that case. That's a problem.
Victory shall be mine. The dog fights hard.
What was that? Okay, let's...
Stay strong.
My turn now. Let me help.
Primrose will probably... Okay, we're fine.
What is the logical course of action?
Yeah, let me hit him with... Alright. That's rough.
On your feet now.
My friends.
God dang.
Have at you.
We gotta break this bitch quick.
The dog fights hard.
Let's do this.
Not what I wanted to do. Thank
My
you.
turn now.
Let's give
Let me help.
him full health.
Have at you.
And just to save me some trouble, I'll
Use
heal
this.
Primrose.
Ah,
I am ready.
Okay, let's... She's getting a lot of moves in. It's problematic. That 30 shield is nuts. Attack.
Out of my way. How about this?
I am ready.
Fine. Yeah. Oh, I should have not done that.
here I go.
Yeah,
Let me
heal.
help.
Want to survive the sweep if that's what it is. The pulverize, perfectly blocked.
Victory
Nice.
shall be.
Good.
I am ready.
Break the shit out of this dude. This chick.
Stay strong.
Let's do this.
Okay, donate your BP.
For
Ulberic.
you.
Now then.
Give him the old
The dog
guardian. Good. Good.
Interesting dilemma.
Yeah, I don't know at this point.
Teneba Operia.
I mean, that's some kind of damage. It's just not incredible. Probably should have...
Have at you.
Yeah, whatever.
My blade is unbending. Windhild fights with us.
There you go.
An interesting dilemma.
Alright, your job is to just fuel Ulberic.
I am ready.
And your job is to fuel
Stay
Ulberic.
strong.
I would have liked to have buffed his physical,
How about
but
you?
I guess it already is.
My
blade. Windhild fights with us!
Nice. That worked.
The thrill of the fight.
No! There is so much more I must learn.
Okay. If nothing else, your devotion to the pursuit of knowledge is admirable. Unfortunately for you, you will not live to pass that on.
Aho!
From the far reaches of hell. At last, I have the original. How many lives have been lost to the dark knowledge in these pages? But no, knowledge itself cannot be good or evil. Only the hearts of those who would use it. I will use all the resources at my disposal to decipher this work for myself. And I will find the answer I seek. An answer of my very own. Perhaps one of the tomes in the study I passed through might aid me in deciphering these glyphs. Yes, I should return. Well, I have to move after the final boss? Maybe there'll be a true final boss. That would be crazy. Kinda like last time. At long last, I can begin to study the tomes in earnest. High Hornbergian Dictionary times 1. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Pages of this tome, the secrets banished by the gods, are likened to a golden fruit, and an ominously worded warning is issued to any who would covet this forbidden power. Forbidden gold. An ancient tome detailing how the 12 gods sealed away an unholy power beyond the edge of the world. Most intriguing. That might relate to the true final boss. I don't know. A tome wherein is writ in horrifying detail a forbidden right to bring back the unholy power sealed away beyond the edge of this world. Yes, yes, I see. I do believe I have the knowledge I need to decipher the mural. Oh my god, we have to do combat, random encounters, after the final boss?
I am ready.
What are you doing? What are you doing
My
to me?
turn now! The stars fall upon you!
How about you? I will cut you down! With each battle, I grow stronger.
Let's see. Death, doom, destruction, death, doom, destruction, death, doom, destruction. Wow, this is like an SCP meme or something. Mural's meaning. Yeah.
Now then,
Let me think through all I've learned. What did the 12 gods do? Sealed power away beyond the edge of the world. What forbidden power did the gods seal away? Power of destruction, power of nothingness, power of life and death. Destruction?
No.
Oh, damn. Life and death? I don't even
But
remember.
of course.
Indeed, the power of life and death. That is the forbidden secret held within these pages. Trial of the 12 tells the tale of how the 12 gods sealed this power away. The author of Forbidden Gold compares this power to a golden fruit. Like a golden fruit, it calls out to and tempts the human heart. What? Into the pages of From the Far Reaches of Hell was this power sealed. These glyphs. Yes, I believe I can decipher them now. Death, 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 death. Yeah, we got it. We get it. Oh yeah, we got it. Oh. I think we can safely assume this is a warning of sorts. A warning of the calamity that awaits us if the gate is opened and the forbidden unleashed. Mural and Tone left behind as an invitation. Oh my god. I don't know them.
But of course.
Yes, the mural was left behind as a warning. I am sure of it. You just said that.
Indeed.
Knowledge in and of itself is not inherently good or evil. It can, however, serve either purpose. All depends on the heart of he who would use it. I choose to believe that whoever created this mural so many years ago believed the same. For the sake of our future, be not tempted by the darkness.
Indeed.
Yes, these dark secrets must never be allowed to be put into practice. Mere existence of this tome is a threat. Shall I destroy it and banish its baleful knowledge for all eternity?
Not exactly.
No. Destroying the tome would not banish the darkness that exists in the heart of man. As long as that darkness exists, people will find a way to work evil. Must preserve this knowledge, that we might put it to good use for good, not evil.
Thusly.
Yet there is much more I must learn. Must decipher in full the contents of this tome and the murals in this place, and pass them on to those who would follow us. But one day, should we be threatened by forces from the far reaches of hell, the Doomslayer will be there. Our descendants will possess the knowledge needed to protect this realm. First, I must return to Atlasdam and file a report on what I have seen here. Then I must begin my analysis of the material I have collected. Yes, I'll be burning the midnight oil night after night, no doubt. I can scarcely wait. Oh, we actually got credits! Oh man, that's wonderful. There, that's proof that I beat the game. Definitively. When you see credits, that is beating the game. It's universally understood. So that final crap is completely optional. It is a side quest, and I don't have to do it or show it. Good. Good. Alright, Octopath Traveler. Well, let's start with the good, right? Let's start with the pros. I would say the graphics were definitely a pro, overall. I really like the look for it. I think they could just take this engine, make some small tweaks to it, and make all sorts of games using this graphics engine, and I would be really happy with it. I mean, engine obviously is not the same as like the Call of Duty or something like that, Skyrim engine. You know, there's a lot of sprite work and stuff like that. But still, this format graphically could be used to showcase a lot of different games, I think. They could reuse this format. The lighting system, though, does need some work. It's just like the sort of bloom lighting effect on characters' faces all the time was unnecessary and kind of off-putting. But other than that, really good stuff. The combat. Okay, the combat, isolated from character progression and all that, just the combat by itself is very solid. You know, I don't, it's not perfect. The braking system is not perfect. And I'm sure other people could, sort of monologue about this a little bit better. I think the braking system limits a little bit of creativity to an extent, I guess. You're somewhat pigeonholed. I mean, you know, all the sorts of gameplay systems could be improved upon, but overall, very solid. It's pretty much what I like. You know, it's a turn-based system, like no timers whatsoever, completely straight-up turn-based. You could sit there for half an hour deciding what to do. I like that a lot. But then you look at the character advancement, leveling, customization options. That's where I felt a little bit of a bummer. There just wasn't enough to it. I mean, yes, your party, your 4 characters there as a party is pretty customizable. Because you've got the 8 jobs. Okay, so you could have any character have any other secondary job, which is pretty good. And then you have the 4 special jobs, which are cool. So the party as a whole is pretty customizable, but each job is very limited. Because they've got, like, just the 7 abilities or whatever like that. They've got the support skills, which really don't affect that much of anything. There's no, like, holy shit, wild support skills that completely change a class. They just make you better at what the class does. For the most part. There are some special ones in there, but really nothing super duper crazy. But yeah, just having the 7 skills, and so... And some of them are not particularly exciting skills. Like, the War Bringer, or the War Master, whatever the hell it is, whatever Ulbrich was, you know, his skills were just... Or the Sorcerer. The Scholar. I mean, those were really just, like... They were powerful, but boring. Very just boring skills. Just, here's fire, here's ice, here's lightning. Here's a better fire, a better ice, a better lightning. And then the Sorcerer was just, here's really good for every element. And just use whatever element you need to. I think probably I would have had a more interesting time using the Apothecary guy. That probably would have been pretty cool. Maybe the Hunter. But yeah, overall they were pretty just sort of limited. I wasn't that engaged. Comparing it to Final Fantasy X, which has a pretty similar combat system. Completely turn-based. You can see which character is going to move when, which I say I really like. And there's sort of that same rock, paper, scissors element to it. Although in Final Fantasy X, you eventually can just sort of completely nullify that. But character customization is just on an extremely much higher degree than this game. And there are different calibers of RPGs, I understand that, but yeah, I'm just saying for Octopath Traveler, it's a little bit of a bummer. It doesn't make me too crazy about playing it again. As for the really bad stuff, obviously the stories, I can understand what they're going for. you know, rather than having your one big epic RPG story where these band of characters come together to save the world or save the galaxy or save whatever, let's have 8 different stories focused on 8 very different characters. And so it's not really about saving the world, just these characters' personal stories of revenge and honor and justice and blah, 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 blah. I get that. The problem is, instead of having one awesome epic story of saving the universe, you have 8 sort of stories. I'm not really one to talk because I don't really care about stories that much, but it seems to be somewhat of a common complaint about this game. Is this? I don't know if narrative quality is a common complaint, but I do know that the lack of connection between the characters is a common complaint. Because it's just like, you know, picture D&D. I think I said this in one of the videos. Picture D&D where each character, each player just had their own goal in mind, their own story that they wanted to play out, and they split up immediately, pretty much, and they're just like, okay, I want to go do this, I'm going to go do this, and they go do this, and the DM just jumps around from each one to each one. You would hate that. You would hate to be at that table. And that's what Octopath Traveler is. It's like being at that table forever.
Professor!
Hold on. So that doesn't, I mean, it doesn't bother me as much as some people, but it's still, like I said, when I played through most of the character stories and was just skipping through all the dialogue, things went by pretty zippy, which means all you really have is just like one boss battle. But because of the narrative structure that they picked, it actually impinged on the gameplay, because they confine themselves to pretty much the same structure almost every single time. And that does bother me, because I don't want to do the exact same thing 8 times over, times 4. You know, I don't want to go into a town and have either something happen in the town in like a big mansion or in a cave connected to the town or something like that, and fight through a dungeon and then beat a boss. I don't want to do that 32 times, but that's what the game is. Maybe I'm sort of expecting too much from the game. You know, maybe this is just supposed to be, hey, it's just a small indie RPG, blah, blah, blah. It's just a side project that they put together and blah, blah, blah. That could be, but they charge full price for it, so that's not an excuse. And 2, they have all the systems in place here. They have all the mechanics. They have everything they need to make a more interesting game. They just sort of pigeonholed themselves into this format. So I'm going to say I can't recommend it. That's what I'm going to say, because there's so many better RPGs out there, in my opinion. And I mean, you could say, well, I've beaten all those RPGs. I've played through all of them. I want something new. That's the thing, though. I don't know if Octopath Traveler is something new. It's just sort of cobbled together all these other elements from different RPGs, and it doesn't really create something unique enough to warrant a great amount of praise. It was fine. I don't hate my time with the game, but I could have just played through Chrono Trigger and probably had a better time. Even though I played through Chrono Trigger, you know, 12 times in my life, I'd rather have an amazing repeat experience than an okay new experience. But that's me, so it's just personal. I mean, you watched all the way through this. I don't know if anyone watching this is going to pick up the game for themselves. You know, it's usually one of those things where it's like down the line, if you see it on a steep discount or something like that, and you're looking for an old school type RPG, feel free. But I feel like people that really appreciate video game stories would probably be more upset by the narrative than I am, and just like it even less. But the game got a lot of praise, so I don't know. Anyways, let's move on and finish this.
Over here, Therese.
That stack of books seems to get bigger every time I see you.
And I'll need twice again as many to have any hope of translating this ancient tome.
Twice as many?
Fascinating, is it not? A traditional fairy tale from a certain region mentioned a gate of sorts. And I could not help but notice a parallel to the mural I found.
I see. Hence, these books on local folklore?
Just so. Considering your subject from all possible angles is a fundamental principle of scholarly research. But I forget myself. Might I surmise that you've come here to inform me that it's time for class?
Yes. You're late, Professor.
Pray forgive me, Your Highness. Very well then, my students. Let us begin. To quote the words of one Susanna Grotoff, author of Knowledge is Light. The pursuit of knowledge is a journey with no destination. As long as people live, there is always something to learn. And so we learn, we record, we speak. Points connect, thus forming our history, our agency, our identity. This world we live in is not for or of any one individual, and neither is knowledge. And so I write and speak of all that I learned, to plant seeds of knowledge that will be harvested by those who follow me. To you who have found my writings, read well these words. That they may help you build a bridge to a brighter future.
Cyrus Finn. Game Finn. Completed this traveler's tale, you can now freely remove them from your party. Nice. Alrighty then, right where we started, we end. Yeah, so check out, if you're really interested, although, if you've only been watching this walkthrough, or this playthrough, not a walkthrough, god, this playthrough, you really wouldn't know much of the stories of the other 5 characters. So watching the final dungeon lore stuff probably wouldn't be massively useful. But I'm sure there's lore summaries somewhere for all the characters if you really care, or just play the game yourself if you're that desperately wishing to know. But for me, I do not wish to know. I'm better off not knowing. And my time with Octopath Traveler is coming to a close. I would give it a... I would give it a 7.4 out of 10. Which is, and it's a broad scale, because you got stuff like Puddle and the Madden football games on that scale and stuff. So, I mean, this was a sprite-based, turn-based RPG, so, you know, it gets a lot of points. But, yeah, there's a lot of better RPGs out there, and kind of feel like playing Chrono Trigger. But my name is Mangg. Game you just finished watching is Octopath Traveler on the Nintendo Switch. And I'll see you fine folks around.